I recently made a reel detailing how a baby was found dead and it was aborted in a porta potty at the Electric Forest Festival. A second death occurred at this festival by a man that committed suicide on the festival grounds. He simply walked into the forest and committed suicide. So one of the comments that irked me on this video the most was someone who said, a handful of deaths amongst its 50K plus in attendance. How many die in a small city every day? Stop trying to take a few tragedies and use them to paint the entire picture. So I'm gonna 5-star Michelin chef cook the entire festival industry right now. First responder describes number of medical calls at 2015 Bassnectar concert as quote unquote mass casualty event. Let's read it. Let's go deeper. First responders say that more than 24 people were transported to the hospital at a concert held last year in New York City. And the volume of patients that came out of there of last year was the largest volume he'd ever seen working as an EMS, and described it a mass casualty event. And he hadn't seen this in over 40 years. This is an EMS. He says 38 of the patients who were treated, 26 of them were transported to local hospitals. Acker says most of them were patients who overdosed on everything from cocaine to heroin to meth to LSD. He says first responders didn't even recognize some of the drugs. He says that patients ranged from under 18 to someone in their 50s. Imagine someone being an EMS for 40 years and calling a Bassnectar EDM show a quote-unquote mass casualty. What this individual that commented and many other people that commented on that video do not understand is that the spirit of death is all over these EDM shows and festivals. The drug usage is known as pharmakia. If you look up the word pharmaceutical, the root word in Latin is pharmakia, and it is literally tied to witchcraft. A spirit of death, a spell of death, is over these drugs and these festivals, and that's why people routinely die. Look at Astroworld with Travis Scott as well. I actually went to a Bassnectar show on Halloween in Michigan about 7-8 years ago, and I was going with a friend, and I was in VIP and everything, and it was like, you know, at the time I thought it was this amazing show. And when we were driving back from the show after it had ended, she told me, she was like, yeah, like a lot of people overdose on ketamine at these shows. I'm like, what? Seriously? She's like, yeah. She's like, you know, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 people die at these shows. Like it's a routine thing. And I just remember stopping and looking at her and being like, what? And in my heart, I was like, there's something wrong about that, because what people don't understand, like this person said 2 people died out of 50,000+. It's not how many people died. It's partially that, but it's also how, I'm talking about how they died. Suicide and aborting your baby in a porta potty is absolutely despicable and disgusting. Let me ask you this, Caleb and everyone else who doesn't understand the